what I've learned is if somebody comes across as really angry, they're really scared.
Yes.
It's just maybe they're not communicating it in such a way that's so smooth and eloquent.
Absolutely. And if you get fired up about the delivery, you miss the message.
Yeah.
You miss the real thing going on there. And so absolutely. And that's where like me coaching my HQ team of like how we want to show up for our owners. That's something I take super seriously. So you're so right. I never really thought about it exactly like that, but you nailed it. Absolutely.
Jami, before we started recording, we were talking about these different models of your franchise. So let's start by, if you share with the audience, what is the investment range of your franchise opportunity?
Yeah, so I have two models. So we don't require that our franchise owners have a dedicated studio, meaning they don't have to have a build out, their own brick and mortar that they have a long-term lease with. They do have to have obviously a place to have classes, and it's not pop-up, it's not popcorning around. They do need to have what we call partner studios, so they can either go dedicated studio or partner studio, where the partner studios, they're renting as needed. So they might have 5 classes a week from 8 to 9 p.m. at this location, 4 classes a week at this other location. So so there's 2 models, and the partner model is really great for folks who maybe run the business part-time, or they have a really interesting market where we don't know exactly where our clients are going to be coming from until we start that journey. And so that has been really successful for us to kind of market test in real time in different neighborhoods within their territory. So the investment for the partner model is about $70,000 all in with their, all their working capital and their franchise fee. If they are going to have a dedicated space, it's going to be around $150,000.
Okay.
And so still not nuts, not nuts, because our studio build out, it's still only about 1,100 square foot space that you need. It's still about, the build out is minimal. You need flooring, you need mirrors, you need some paint. So it's not, we don't have we have no equipment essentially. It's a pretty low lift from a build out perspective for most folks.
What percentage of your 38 franchises are partner model versus a dedicated studio?
Yeah, it's becoming more in the dedicated studio, but right now about 60% are partner model. Most just have the partner spaces. But my new owners that are coming in, especially we're kind of calling it first to market, my first units in bigger cities now, because we have a lot of white space still. I still have Denver. I have Raleigh, Durham. I have Miami. I have so many all of California. We have some amazing big cities that our ideal scenario is that they would have kind of a stronghold brick and mortar that's their dedicated space, and then also in their other units in the area operate in the partner model, so that they have both. So my hybrid units are the highest performing, and they're really fun to run because they have their home base, and then they also operate in other parts of their territory.
Okay. All right. So I'm about to open a partner model or dedicated studio. Where in the world am I going to find instructors?
Finding instructors is actually not the hardest part of launching this business. So we have a great system for, obviously how they do a job posting and how they kind of screen their folks. These are folks that do need some dance experience. They need to, be able to count to 8 and be able to create choreography. We do give them a lot of resources, but, former cheerleaders, former, folks who also have taught Zumba, or they have, a cheer or dance background of any sort, but are typically, even just from a normal job posting that propagates across all the job platforms, we get a lot of applicants for the instructor role. And then if they're not getting as many applicants, then we're going to those college dance teams. We're going to those, we're going to the drag performers in the area to see if this would be a good, side job for them. We're going to, any other studios that have adult dance programs as well. So we really have very rarely run into an issue where we just can't find instructors. Actually, I could say never, but it's really there's a lot of folks out there that dance is a part of their life. Dance and fitness and movement and cheer are a part of their life. So we've been very fortunate on that.
Cool. All right. Well, what is the biggest challenge then?
The biggest challenge are my folks who operate part-time. As you know, part-time, sometimes you get those part-time results, right?
I always say part-time equals no time. I'm sorry. I know there's some models where it works. Did not work for me. I tried it twice. I made 2 big runs at it, and I found part-time being no time.
So I started out the model with, I'm like, well, I mean, you probably know this is what you did. Oh yeah, you can run it part time, no problem. That's what
Because
I
I
did.
did.
That's what I
Exactly.
did.
Right.
Right. Absolutely. And so over time, I have the data to support that my full-time owners, and I have this in my item 19 as well. My
Uh-huh.
item 19, I have it based on, I have a column of, is this a part-time or a full-time?
Mm-hmm.
How is this unit run? So I have that in my item 19. And I just, they perform higher. They also just love their business more. They're in it. And
Sure.
so, now really the challenge is finding owners who are ready, willing, and able to do this full time, or they have the capital to have an operating principal or have someone that's really in the manager role. So that's really the biggest challenge. Is just, I have no shortage of franchise leads and people who are passionate and excited about Diva Dance and they love it and they want to do it. But we have now gotten much more strict about what their commitment looks like, what their
Good.
obligations to the business look like, and passion's just not enough. So that's it's hard, especially folks watching this that are emerging brands. You need to grow, you need to sell franchises, we need the franchise fees.
Right.
But I'm at a really, really important place where we got to have the right people. I mean, you're always at the place where you got to have the right people, but
Right.
that has been a big challenge, is just, making sure we have the right folks. And if they can't give it their 100%, then do they have the capital to bring in a team?
And has that opportunity helped award more franchises by giving them the option of bringing in somebody to manage the business?
Yes, absolutely. It's actually made it more fun too. It's made it more fun for those new owners coming in. They feel like they have a buddy. They're not just in it by themselves.
Sure.
And we all know, like, if managed the right way, 1 + 1 = 3. And so that's what we've been really, I don't want people who are self-employed. I want them to own a business. And
Right.
so, and most of my owners don't teach their own classes. They hire instructors. And so I want owners to build a big, yummy business for themselves so that they can spend time with their family and they can have financial abundance. And so that's really, trying to find those folks that are the right fit for that. We've gotten good at it, but
I bet.
always more looking forward to more.
Cool. Jami, what's been your biggest surprise since franchising 7 years ago?
The franchise community, the generosity, that has been a huge surprise because, I came out of the music business where most folks are not in it to help lift you up.
They're
It's just not the
cutthroat,
culture.
right?
Yeah, it's just not the culture of the business. And in franchising, I have made the most amazing, genuine, generous friendships and business relationships, and not just like the women helping each other. It's not just like, oh, the men know everybody and then they're going to pull us up. It's like everybody is so collaborative. So that's been a huge surprise, and it makes me want to be one of those people and be generous as well. So it's been really fun.
And you are.
I'd love to be. When young brands call me, I love talking to like fresh founders.
Right.
Like a fresh one.
Yes.
I'm kind of mentoring one husband and wife now who have a really awesome concept where they do balloons for special occasions, and a really, really cool concept. And just like, they're so bright-eyed and it's so fun to, like, I don't want to diminish the spirit, but I want to help them mold that clay. So that's been really fun.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Tell me about your vision for your company. What's the long-term vision, and how big is big for you think?
Well, I mean, listen, I'm not just saying this, but I know we will have a global brand, because dance is part of everyone's life across the world.
Hmm.
And, even just my little toe dip into Mexico, one of the coolest moments of the last, 8 or 9 years has been teaching a diva dance class in a room full of only Spanish speakers. That's been pretty cool,
Nice.
to just hear them talking about diva dance in Spanish, and just seeing what we've created in this kind of implanted into another culture. Now
Mhm.
Mexico's, very close to home, obviously, and but it's still a different country, it's still a different culture, it's still a different language. So that's been really fun. So my vision is that we replicate that again. We go to more countries. I am seeking, master partners for some of these other territories where it doesn't make sense for us to be the franchisor in those areas that are not our expertise of in the market. So that would definitely be a goal we have. And and transparently, if there comes a day where I'm not the person to be in the CEO seat and I'm really more suited in the founder seat, I'm absolutely looking forward to that day, because it will mean that the company has gotten so, we've had such success that,
Mhm.
even I am not the person to put the leash around it and tame it and grow it. So,
Good for you.
Yeah, so I look forward to that, and I'll always be the founder, and I'll always be, we call me the head diva around here. But certainly, if I'm not meant to be in that CEO seat at some point, definitely okay with that because it'll mean good things are happening. So global is the plan. We want to change lives and inspire confidence and build community everywhere.
Well, it means that you love your company so much that you're willing to put it before you.
Definitely, absolutely.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fiume, or Emerging Franchise Group LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.